I started everything to produce the best tasting, healthiest food. It was quite obvious that the soil was the most important thing, because everything you eat comes from the soil except for the sea. So I went to start studying the soil. I have different books, but I went around the world trying to understand the complexity of soil, which is the most diverse, one of the most diverse substances in the world. So if you think a handful of good soil has more living things than people on earth. Dr. Elaine Ingram was giving a lecture for 3 days in America. I went to her. She's the leading person on the biology of the soil. They had labs all over the world. The one in Holland, now we're the only one in Europe. I set that up first of all. And then I set the chemistry lab up, really to try and understand how the soil works. And in natural farming or natural growing, you really want to make it healthy so it doesn't get sick. And I think it's the same whether it's for food or whether for grass. If you make it healthy, it doesn't get sick. A great turf company came to us and started looking at what we were doing, and it seemed very obvious what we were doing on our grasses was going to be similar to the grasses on golf courses or on soccer fields or sports fields. So we started working with them on that to try and understand and maybe tailor what we do better.
Okay, so once we have your sample all booked in, the next thing we'll do is start processing it. So the first thing we'll do is, for example, if we have a sample from a golf course, we'll first of all have a look at the soil, we'll have a look at its texture, its quality and the smell, and get an idea of what it's like quality-wise. We'll then measure out the soil for various different analyses. The first thing we'll do is put it into a buffer which will stabilise the microbiology, which will allow us a window of time to work on it. What we'll also do at this stage is take out any root material, and what we'll do is stain the root material to look for mycorrhizal colonisation. So we have a staining process whereby we clear out the root material, so from your green or your turf, we'll be able to look inside the roots by using a special blue stain which picks out the fungal community. We'll then be able to measure the fungal community and tell you about the presence of mycorrhiza and other beneficial fungi, but also be able to tell you if there's potential pathogen problems. Okay, so after your samples have been processed, we then move on to the microscope room where we'll actually analyse the samples for the different microbial groups. So we'll look at the numbers of bacteria, we'll look at the numbers of fungi, we'll look at the ratio between them. We'll also investigate the numbers of nematodes and also the groups of nematodes, so whether or not you have any pathogenic nematodes in there. We'll also look at the protozoa, which can tell us something about compaction or whether you're developing anaerobic conditions in the soil. This is obviously particularly important in a golf course where you want to keep these things to a minimum. We'll also look carefully at the mycorrhizal and endophyte communities within the roots and check that there's a healthy community there. We'll also inform you if we find any pathogenic fungi in the root system, which will tell you something about the health of your turf. And we can also send you photographs of the offending pathogens if necessary.
We are basically grass farmers. Most of what we're growing is grass for the animals. And to make the grass healthy is the same whether it's for farming, for animals to eat, or whether it's for sports fields. We look at the biology of the soil, the microbiology of the soil, and try and understand what we need for that particular type of whatever we're growing. And grass needs a more bacterial dominated, so that's what we work on for our grasses and also for the turf grasses. We're trying to make them healthy so they don't get sick, rather than try and put chemicals on to keep them from getting sick. It's the same, I think, with humans. You're trying to make yourself healthy so you don't get sick. We don't give ourselves medicine all the time, or we shouldn't.